up, y'all? It's your boy Dumptruck here, and we are on another episode of Chasing the Ride podcast, brought to you by Rider Justice, and I'm joined by Mr. Rider Justice, Scott O'Sullivan, and we have an industry-focused podcast this morning. It's all about being brands within the motorcycle industry, so we've got two other brands here with us. We got BikerDown, represented by Miss Laurie, and then we've got RevZilla here by TC, and I guess we should start talking about stuff.
Yeah, awesome. And so, to start, we go back, we're family.
Oh yeah.
We're becoming family. We love to do all the stuff we do with you guys.
Yeah.
And I think we just need to know more about, and RevZilla is new to the world here. We'll get to BikerDown in a minute.
Oh, absolutely.
But tell us about RevZilla now and its presence in Denver. And to me, it's a gigantic deal, but if you could help tell us about that.
Yeah, so obviously, RevZilla has been around for a minute. Most of us will know RevZilla, the brand, from our YouTube videos. We kind of started off with those gear tips and,
That's what got me?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Everybody points to that. So they've started moving into the, retail world in locations. We currently have 3 locations now here in Denver, Philadelphia, and then also in Newport Beach. So it's a part of that Komodo family of brands. So in that family of brands, actually I've got my shirt here, it's Cycle Gear, RevZilla, and then J&P Cycles. We're excited to be here in Denver. It's been it's a great area that we're in, and getting to know the motorcycle community here has been fantastic. Personally, I've only been here about 2 years now, working on 2 years now. So,
where are you from?
Originally, I'm from California, the Bay Area.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm here via Texas. Both places you're not really supposed to mention you're from right now. But yeah, I love the area, and of course, being back into mountainous areas, being in Texas for a minute, it's nice. So yeah.
How long have you been riding for?
Yeah.
So, I've been around motorcycles my entire life. My granddad, when he was in the Navy stationed in Hawaii, that's all they had was a motorcycle. My grandma, who did not have a license at the time,
But it is Hawaii.
It's Hawaii, but there's a lot of rain, and so my family's always been around motorcycles. So I've been riding off and on my entire life. I started off-roading riding here recently, which has been a ton of fun. Love that. I've just always kind of been around it, and about 8 or 9 years ago, I decided I'd rather just talk about bikes all day than do what I was doing previously. So.
Well, you're in the right place today.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to choosing a bike, what type of bike do you like to ride on the road and then in the dirt, now that you're starting to get into that world?
Yeah. So currently I have a 2019 Street Bob, which I've been super happy with that M8.
You make an exhaust pipe for that, by the way.
I've heard you guys make some exhaust. And then off-roading, I have a 2017 Africa Twin.
Nice.
It's a big dirt bike.
Yeah.
Is what I use it as. So yeah.
That's really, really cool. The dirt side of things really opens up. It's like you just started again. It's totally not the same. The way you ride's different. Obviously, where you go is different.
Right.
The people are different.
The people are different.
You're still all bonded by the motorcycle fact.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing with the motorcycle industry, as a whole, is people are different, but when you have a bike, you're just automatically bonded to that person. You're automatically in that family and in that culture, regardless of what type of bike you're on. And that's kind of, being able to move around and have worked for Cycle Gear, have worked for J&P Cycles, and now RevZilla. You really see that there are differences, but ultimately we're a family of bikers. And
I mean, you can't go anywhere and drive by anything, and if you see a motorcycle, you're like, motorcycle.
Right.
It doesn't matter what kind it is.
Yep.
Your eyes it's like squirrel, and you're immediately looking at it.
Or if your conversation's interrupted, wait.
Right.
Song of my people. Hey.
Exactly.
I heard a bike start.
Yeah.
That's hang on, I know what this is. They've got a Sawicki exhaust on a Harley Street.
Yeah.
It's a fun game. Miss
But
Laurie's been around forever as well, right?
Yeah.
With you guys. And so you've been in motorcycling for how long?
I've been around a minute, but it'll be 14 years.
That's awesome. And you ride, yeah?
Oh yeah.
What are you riding? How long you been riding?
I have a 2021.
Pop quiz.
A 2021 Harley Davidson freewheeler,
Awesome.
and it's all tricked out as far as
Yes.
my Louis Vuitton and bling and everything else, which really reflects who I am. Which is one thing great about motorcycles is that the way people customize them, it reflects who they are and their
It's an extension of
personality.
us, right?
So I've been riding probably since about 2013, and I didn't personally take to two wheels like other people do doing BikerDown. I see a lot, and so for me, getting the three wheels, I was actually going to go to a Can-Am until Harley came out with the freewheeler.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and I actually ride it like a scalded dog. You don't want to go up in the mountains with me because you're slowing down. I'm accelerating in the turns. So I love to ride, and we'll never ride on the back again, even though Chomper is always saying, hey, come on, let's go for a ride. Nope, not happening.
I love
Tell
that.
us about the BikerDown for the people that don't know. What is BikerDown and why did it start?
Well, BikerDown is a nonprofit that was started to help injured motorcycle riders with the recovery aspect after an accident, which is vitally important because, as you've always said, bikers realize just how bad it is. And there's nowhere for them to turn. They find out how underinsured they are. They find out how bad their injuries are. And so I'm kind of their soft place to fall where they can call. I've been doing it long enough that I can navigate them and guide them through all the experiences. We provide financial strategy. So not every help request is a matter of writing a check, but it's trying to come up with a way to keep your head above water. We donate medical equipment. In the sadness of a fatality, we'll donate a motorcycle urn. If your lights are getting ready to get shut off, we will just help you maintain.
Right.
And things like that, which has been vitally important. And we've grown so much in the past 10 years. Obviously, since working with Scott, but getting on a more national scale. So we're still a small nonprofit. You call, I'm still going to answer the phone, but we have grown. I got 6 help requests yesterday.
Oh, wow, that's
So,
awesome.
I think we did 750 last year.
So you're saying that you've been in business for about 10 years?
Well, no, I've been doing BikerDown for 14.
14 years. And how did that start?
It started after a girlfriend of mine, I was riding on the back, and a girlfriend of mine, we were at Coal Creek Canyon, and she was trying to keep up with the boys, and she went right into a barbed wire fence.
Oh.
And so it's a 2-lane road, and so we all didn't know what to do. We had 12 bikers, not one person had a trauma kit. They were like, don't move her, don't move her. Well, we've got to get her out of the barbed wire. But we didn't know how to secure the scene, so we were blocking traffic. Took almost an hour and 15 for the EMTs to get to her. So my point is by the time we got down to the emergency room and we saw everything that she was going through, I said, who do I call? And they're like, well, what do you mean, who do we call? And I said, well, we ride for every dog, cat, vet. We ride for everybody. You're telling me there's no nonprofit out there that helps injured motorcycle riders? And they said, no. I said, well, there is none. So, at first we just wanted to,
Yeah, get in there.
At first, I wanted to just water your plants and check your mail, and I really had no idea what I was getting into.
Right.
But I think the wise thing that we did is we listened to what the biker community said they needed, such as, hey, I'm getting released from the hospital, I need a wheelchair. So I went on Craigslist and got my first wheelchair, which brought to the point of now we need to carry some sort of medical equipment. Transportation. Many of these people don't have a way to get to the doctor. So yes, we will provide you an Uber or a Lyft gift card.
Or even building a ramp to get into the house.
Building a ramp. People always say, what does BikerDown do? And I usually say, I don't know, what do you need? Yeah. And that's really because every motorcycle case is different, their needs are different. But again, they share that same value of realizing just how bad it is.
We are products of our upbringing and the people around us.
Yeah.
Who in your family can't stop helping people? Where do you get that from? Because, to be that instantaneous and then to learn, how deep this rabbit hole you dug is and to go double down every time, that's usually, there's a care factor that's in your family or something you've learned by yourself.
Well, what I normally tell people is I come from a lot of dysfunction. I'm a widow. My second husband's son got paralyzed from a snowmobile accident. I was a paralegal for probably 12 years in insurance defense.
Okay.
And, I don't think God caused all those terrible things to happen to me, but I think He used them for a moment of service to the community. And I've always had that, I think because I never felt like I had a lifeline, but I knew down deep in my core I was good. And so I don't want anyone to suffer if I have a way or a means to help.
That's really cool that you become the part of the solution, mostly by your own inspiration, and just instead of falling victim to the circumstances of life, you put them on the list.
Yeah, and this has never been about profit. I mean, I always say we have more love than we have money. I mean, it's kind of amazing how I manage to do what we do. I mean, there's other nonprofits such as Randy's Run that's no longer, but they used to be able to give out really big checks. But Randy only did maybe 12 help requests per year. I do a lot lower amounts of assistance, but I'll do 750 accidents in a year. So I'm physically talking to 750 accident victims or family members. I mean, we had 120 in August. So it really is amazing. So it really is something I'm quite proud of.
So I do want to switch gears because you're also here on behalf of what?
Oh, Sawicki Speed.
Yeah.
Purveyors of 10A 2-in-1 stainless steel exhaust, manufactured in Denver, North Carolina. SawickiSpeed.com.
So tell me about how that happened, how you transitioned into that.
Oh, wow.
That journey,
So most of my motorcycle experience has been on the microphone, emceeing for various brands, primarily the Motor Company. I did a lot of work for them for about 11 years. I was the voice of Jack Daniels for about the same time and the voice of Women's Roller Derby for about the same amount of time. And all of that stuff has turned into brand relationships. And like at the very beginning of like the social media brand ambassador stuff, I'm already on stage doing stuff. So for a brand, they were like, hey, this might be a good idea. And I didn't know anything about it. And I was like, sure, I'll do this. Whatever that is. We have this leather. 5-Ball was the first brand that I ever got to work with, 5-Ball racing leathers. And they're like, we have these products. We'd like for you to test them, tell people how you feel about them. That's it, just wear them. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense to me, but okay, let's go do that. And it just kind of has continued on and working with different brands. Like right now, I'm present with Rider Justice, and that's 365 for us. I also work with Dennis Kirk. I also work with White Knuckler brand knives. And those experiences with those brands and others, if you're paying attention to it and you're actually noticing the opportunity that you're given, and it's not just some free stuff, you get to do cool things and people know who you are when you go places, like that's fine. But like the work that's available to you, the advancement that's available, like you're in the room, like let's do something with it.
And you're so diverse too, because you've experienced everything. So when you problem solve for maybe that new company coming in, you're bringing all that experience so that you can elevate their brand faster.
And that's literally how it happened with Sawicki. It is my brand ambassadorship and the relationship with these other companies that help me understand how can I do this? Right. So as a brand manager now, I'm doing all the things with my affiliates and our partners that I always really hoped brands would do with me.
Right, exactly.
I've never wanted your free stuff. I don't need it, at all. I'm totally good. But if there's an opportunity for us to work together, man, I would really love that. And it's just not a part of everyone's, program. Sometimes they really want to have a hands-off. Sometimes they want to have hands-on. I'm super handsy.
Well, it's like the Kevlar jeans of tobacco.
Right, yeah.
Most bikers look at those jeans, even though they're street stylish, they look at them and go, oh gosh, do I really want to spend $280 or whatever the cost is on these jeans? But you doing those commercials, showing the guy skidding, imagine the road rash that you'll be saving yourself.
Oh, man, yeah.
So I'm just saying, there's a lot of having those hands-on reviews that you do that will make me spend my biker dollar because of the level of quality you've shown me. And that's why you've attached yourself to that brand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we trust you.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. And I try to be transparent. I don't work with brands that aren't actually into this. Like,
Right.
if you're just trying to like do some money stuff, I think it's great. I hope you do well. But for me, it's got to be connected. My partners have to be. If you didn't ride motorcycles or have a history, we wouldn't be sitting here. And that's not a snob thing. It's just that's where I belong.
Well, that's your lane.
It is.
You only want people in your lane.
And I'm really protective of our community.
Yeah,
like, there's a
absolutely.
lot of culture vultures that show up and they're from nowhere, and then suddenly they're the most popular person on the planet.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why? Because you're good on camera?
Yeah.
Well,
Like, come on, there's more to that. There's
it's
people
like
that
Scott-
live this lifestyle that are way qualified for the same thing that you've had an opportunity with now. Why isn't that more internal?
But it's like Scott is a true motorcycle attorney.
Right.
You know, just because some billboard lawyer stands in front of a bike and all of a sudden says, I'm a motorcycle attorney, doesn't make you a motorcycle attorney.
Right.
He's done the work, he's paid the price, he has the experience, and that's what you need in those moments. And so that, again, goes to yours. It's these fly-by-night people that try to come in and steal the oxygen.
Right.
And you haven't earned the right. He's earned the right to do it, and he'll do the best job for you.
Right, and all it takes is really caring, like actually like
Yeah.
giving a shit. Like,
Empathy.
and then nothing more. It's not complicated.
Yeah.
And like, why do we consider you to be a real motorcycle attorney? Because you're actually fighting for litigation. Like,
Yeah.
that helps make the laws
Yeah, trying to change laws.
be in our favor. It's not just, hey, I'll help you out when shit goes wrong.
Or, I'm sorry, I'm just your personal injury lawyer.
Right.
I can't tell you what to do with that envelope that you just got in the mail. And that's one thing I've always prided with our relationship is that Scott will be the one that calls you.
Right.
If you call the office, most of the people, and there's a smaller office, but everybody knows your name, they know your case, and he will take care of it on a more personal level. And he'll talk you off the ledge at those moments where you're like, I can't do this anymore, and he'll go, let me see what I can do. And when you hang up the phone from someone that you feel that empathy for, you go, okay. And that's what I try to do with BikerDown, is I try when they hang up the phone to go, okay, Laurie told me to do this.
Right.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah, everything's,
And along the lines of trust and experience, so, I've bought 2 helmets from you guys, jackets, gloves. One of the things that I love about your sales guys, salesmen and women, is just how much they know and how much they try to personalize the entire experience.
right.
Can you talk about like where that comes from with how you does it come natural? Are you training them? Like, because it's really genuine and it feels good.
Yeah, it's genuine because, as you were saying with your brand ambassadorships, there are a lot of people out there who are popping up and taking that spotlight because it's easy to fake it in today's
Right.
world, unfortunately, right?
Yeah.
Like Instagram, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, if you're nice and shiny and bright, then you can get attention. And we've kind of, taken, I guess, what you're doing as an ambassador into the store. We're all riders. We all care. We all have seen what happens if you're not wearing the proper gear. I'm literally wearing riding jeans today,
Right.
because I've seen way too many people, come in and decided not to have them, and then they decided they needed them. We all care because we know, we've seen, we've heard the stories. We're riders ourselves. There's not one person that I have ever employed in any of the brands that has not ridden a motorcycle of some sort or has been around motorcycling. So I think that is really what sets us apart. We're not there to ensure we're getting a paycheck or anything like that.
Not there just for commission sales.
Right.
I really care that helmet fits you properly. I really care that those jeans are going to.
Right.
Because if I want just jeans, I can go to Walmart and get jeans. I'm there to get the right safety gear.
Right.
And at the best.
You can buy a helmet on Amazon, but if
Exactly.
it doesn't fit you properly,
Right.
it's not going to help you if
Exactly.
anything were to happen.
And
There's
when
this
you're
dude
wiggling and your helmet's going like that.
Right.
There's this
That
dude in
sucks.
my neighborhood that is ripping around on this, must have been a jailbroken like electric bike.
Yeah.
And he's just ripping, and he's got, it might as well be a Buzz Lightyear fucking, helmet on. and I've stopped him a few times. I'm like, dude, I love what you're doing, but could you go to RevZilla and just go get a real helmet?
Yeah.
I know you think you look cool, but you look like a tool, and it's gonna end badly.
Well, I've
You're a
had
good
people on
neighbor.
scooters that didn't have a helmet on.
Well, and that's a good point. I mean,
Once you
nowadays.
get that impact,
Yeah.
You know,
we have a lot of those electric vehicles, and that electricity, that's all power all at once.
right.
And so if you
With the
jailbreak,
mountain bike brake.
So we've actually had a lot
you
of.
knowing all this mechanical stuff now. When I met you at that car sale.
So one thing weird that we've had in recently are unicycles. I don't know if you've seen these things.
Are they
those
electric?
guys? Yes.
What?
And they jam. I mean,
You mean
they
like-
are. No, it's like a single wheel.
You mean
those
the
things.
ones
Oh,
that
yeah.
I'm thinking Barnum and Bailey.
I am too. I'm like,
still juggling.
Rip.
Yes. They move, so they come in and buy all the gear.
Yes.
Because like if you go
They need
down,
all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That lean angle that they're at
Yes.
and that speed that they're going, it's wild. So
It is
electric vehicles, it's really kind of opened the market up for us as well to show that you need all that
It's
stuff.
also brought up the injuries too because of that acceleration.
Yeah.
That's wild.
A lot of people want to hit it like you would hit a regular bike, and that accelerates
just
and,
pure torque.
and it flips
Yeah.
over them.
All the power.
might as well be a mini bike. The
Yeah,
smaller the
exactly.
bike, the more the danger.
Yeah, that's something that's going to come back into play, and I'm
Where's
excited
the
for it. Mini
disclaimer
bikes
on
are-
that when you
Yeah.
open it up out of
But
the
let me
box?
ask you guys though, where do you see, where's the industry going? I think electric bikes is going to open up the world because they're going to eventually go like, well, I want to go more than 5 miles, right? And they're going to start buying motorcycles, I think, or scooters or whatever. Where do you see it going in the world, like in your experiences?
So
You and I are thinking of. I can't even imagine a world where there's not a gas-powered motorcycle.
Well, that's why I'm saying I think they're going to transition to it, or it's going to be.
Well, unfortunately, it's going to be a forced transition with the European Union and all that.
Yeah.
nonsense.
California, yeah.
California.
Yeah.
They do their own thing.
Oh, bless their hearts.
Bless their hearts. As a Californian, bless their hearts.
Every time I visit,
Okay, you're reformed.
It's a great place to visit.
that's right. Yeah.
So I noticed a big swing when Harley took over Stasic, and seeing and being able to sell all those electric bikes for kids, like a huge market opportunity there. And obviously that has been massive to getting kids back on real bikes eventually.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I'm all for it. We can talk about litigation and, preventing things that are mandatory, but whatever gets people on two wheels, I'm here for it. I think it's tons of fun. Those electric bikes, like we were talking about the Zeus or the Super 73s earlier, those things are a blast. So
They're totally
it gets
fun.
people riding and out there into the world and off of their phones. And
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'm for it. Let's do it.
I totally agree. Although I have one really distinct bias.
Yeah.
I cannot fucking stand the bird scooters all over.
I only like those when I'm on them. If I'm not on them, I'm talking smack.
I literally, I understand they're great, last mile transportation.
Yeah.
I get all of that. But when you leave it, on my sidewalk in front of my office, I'm throwing it in the dumpster. You know how many they've had to get from my dumpster? I'm like, fuck.
Well, luckily they're
Their
tracked. So.
GPS is reading.
Yeah, and it's
the-
beeping at me no, don't
Scott
put me in the
threw
dumpster.
another one away.
For the 20 minutes I lived in Portland, Oregon,
Yeah.
that was when those really were first coming on the scene, and someone had created a really basic app that showed you how many were in the river.
Oh my
And
God.
so every week for a conversation piece, be like, looks like they got 13 more in there. And we go, hooray, lithium in the water. Good job, everybody. Way to make a statement.
Yeah, I mean, at 1 o'clock in the morning in an empty parking garage,
Yeah.
they're tons of fun.
Yes,
Tons
they
of
are.
fun.
I mean, for electric bikes, I've got a good amount of experience on a few different brands.
Yeah,
I'm a regular Zoozer.
Yeah.
Love them very much.
Volcon for me and Zeus. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing I like about them most, living in Charlotte proper, not downtown. That's like 5 minutes from my house. Is with it has to be cell phone related. What's happened in the last 10, 15 years? It's really, really hard to just jam around a city on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And I live in Charlotte, which is statistically one of the hardest cities to ride in because of the level of road rage, accidents, fatalities, and all that. It's way high out there.
Yeah.
I say it's a new term I've unfortunately coined. They drive like they're blindfolded and mad. They really do.
They are aggressive.
It's
They move the
really
mass
aggressive.
up.
And they
I'm
don't
there.
care if they run into you. They're just like, I'm coming through, so you should probably find your brake.
They're like
And
trying
I
to
drive
out
a
Miami.
really big truck.
Yeah.
And they don't. I'm like, this thing will eat you. You need to be careful. They do not care.
And they're trying to out Miami people.
Yes, they are.
They have some of the craziest drivers.
Yeah.
In the country.
Well, I mean, it is NASCAR Central and
Florida
HRA
stuff.
Central. They do go
Exactly.
fast over there in Queen City, but
Yeah.
I love them for the local travel. Like when I want to go to the bar, when I want to go to wherever, homie's
I'm at
house.
Daytona and I'm camping.
Yeah.
And,
I think they're
to
great.
scoot to,
I don't think
Main
it'll ever
Street or something
replace
like
like a full-on motorcycle, because unless magically we discover a better way to find lithium and charging stations and all that. Because for a lot of my version of motorcycling is distance, and that is like instantly out of the question.
Totally.
I think there's room for them, and I think there's a great place for them, especially when you talk about noise levels in a city, noise levels and all those
Commuter.
kinds of things. Right.
I'm just
All that
envisioning
stuff.
50 bikers on a bike ride, on a charity ride, having to roll up to the charging station.
Yeah, right?
And trying to, argue on who was first or who's next. And
What would be
stuff like
interesting is to see if the hybrid movement made it into motorcycles.
Yeah,
I don't
I like
know
the hybrid.
anything
Yeah.
about the engineering side
Was
of
it-
that.
Little hydrogen
Was it
kind of
Suzuki
hybrid.
that just came out with the hybrid and
Did
the
they?
batteries? You could pop it out. I just seen something briefly
saw
on that.
something too,
Kawasaki or I don't remember which one.
Yeah.
But very portable batteries. So it's something interesting that's happening, and it's going to happen regardless
Yeah.
of what we
Right.
think of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless they stop moving in big ships and airplanes, like they'll keep picking on motorcycles.
Right. Yeah.
They
Well.
don't actually make an environmental
the
impact.
concern I
More cows
I
farting
don't-
than anything.
I'm not super well versed on it, but in Europe, the self-driving cars are having a really hard time seeing the motorcycle riders.
Yeah, it's because they ain't
So
got
I think-
eyes.
Yeah, that's
I-
exactly right.
I think
Yeah.
we're looking at the future being very questionable about what's actually going to happen. There's just too many whispers behind closed doors of where it's going. I mean, I think there's always going to be two wheels, and there's always going to be bikers. But you are bringing up a demographic of younger people that really love the electric idea. And so I think the demand will always be there.
Yeah.
Then are they going to get curious, and where does it go from there?
I think it's a great
But I love a
supplement to
hybrid.
the entire industry, and it obviously is more than a supplement. It's an industry on its own, worth billions of dollars. But I mean, I think it's a really cool movement. I think there's so much room for it. If I don't see an e-bike company at a motorcycle event, I feel like someone's missing an opportunity.
Oh yeah.
But by the same token, you want to go electric, I'm all for you, but don't shame me for still wanting to smell my.
I mean, I feel you. I got a
beef
73
truck,
Ford
you know.
Econoline that my neighbors hear every morning.
I mean, there's room for all of us to share.
But at the same time, though, and I hope you're seeing more of in your shop, is that as that segment grows, they don't see it as like the beach cruiser, because you're going minimum unjailbroke, like 19. You're going 30 plus if you jailbreak it, and some go faster.
Lot faster.
You need real gear on.
Yeah.
You need gloves. You need a real helmet.
Yeah.
You need at least a motocross helmet.
And you need to know that you can insure that stuff too, by the way. Especially if you're doing that one wheel
It's
stuff.
a weird thing.
Yeah, I mean, like there are some, depending on who you go with and what
Yeah.
happens, like it's an odd little gray area, but a lot of your gear can be replaced. I've had it replaced before whenever I've had an unfortunate incident.
Well, that goes with your motorcycle insurance, and
Right.
that's if you get hit on your e-bike, it actually is going to go, and it's not your fault. It's going to go under your auto insurance, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah, because bicycles and pedestrians are covered under your underinsured motorist coverage.
It's crazy you know all that.
I don't know how I figured this shit out.
You should be a lawyer.
But no, I just want more people to have that stuff on, because there's nothing worse than me watching somebody thinking they're super cute on their Vespa in flip-flops.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had multiple cases where, they get hit on their Vespa and they deglove their feet.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I mean, listen, we were just talking about Florida Man, and that is
Florida Man.
Florida Man, right? Like
sorry, Florida guys.
Not sorry.
It's earned.
flip-flops, shorts,
Yes.
t-shirts, if a t-shirt. Yeah, no. Wear the
T-shirts are
gear.
optional.
Yeah. Wear the gear. I mean, we see it at many different rallies, It's never great. It's
No.
never a great situation.
A blink of an eye.
And
Life
nowadays,
is
like
totally
they've made gear so casual looking that
Yes.
you really can't get away with wearing like really proper protective gear and not look like a Power Ranger.
Yes.
Which is
Right.
fantastic.
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
Before you'd be riding all day and it looked like you were on a
looked
bike
like
all
a
day,
douchebag.
right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, not so much.
Right.
So I think
Now you can just be a douchebag on the inside.
in the inside. We'll still be douchebags on the inside, but outwardly we can look normal and chill and still have protection.
So here's a question. When I started riding motorcycles, when I started riding Harleys, I actually was living in Denver. I still have my '89 Sportster. and my helmet was pomade
Yeah.
and a bitchin' pompadour. And I never had interest in safety gear and things like that. And I rode constantly in the mountains. I mean, I would just like leave and let me go learn how to ride all these turns and go, and having a blast and doing all this stuff. And there was a moment to where I actually started to really care about protecting myself when I went to go ride. And it's not always what people think is cool. So like having the casual safety gear, like really like gave my inner like helicopter mom, like really satisfying feelings, because I was like, cool, so I can actually like not be a tool, because I won't wear that other stuff. I just won't. I'm not comfortable. I don't like it. I'll just like not get hit.
Right.
But it's awful.
That always
like
works.
to think that works.
That works every time.
It does it. Yeah,
that's right.
And I had an opportunity. We talked about Tobacco Motorwear. Like they were really the first like safety focused brand that I worked with.
For streetwear.
For streetwear, right. I mean, I was, leather companies and stuff like that, but like that was more like lifestyle leather. That will save you. Leather's great for that. But Tobacco Motorwear came out, and I was one of the people invited just to be like part of some of their advertisement campaigns.
Getting a visual.
And then when I actually got to wear them, and I was living full time on a motorcycle at that time, so like in a month's time, you've got all the R&D feedback that you really need as a brand.
Exactly.
And it's like, I need another pair.
Yeah.
Like, I absolutely need another pair. And there was actually a time that I hit a deer. She was delicious. We took the back strap out and whatever.
Yeah, no, it's good.
But I was in a turn, apex, one place you can't really slam on your brakes. She pops up, runs as the crow flies. I got to go this way. And so I actually hit her first intentionally and then separated. Went like this, had gloves on. Thanks, Roland Sands. And slid and had a vest on, and then had my Tobacco Motorwear jeans. And I had a Roland Sands vest on, Roland Sands gloves, no sleeves, and then my tobaccos. And my tobaccos looked absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Like perfect. And they told me from knee to hip, that was part of the slide. And I was like totally cool and in control. Like it wasn't like a blah moment.
Right.
Yes, all the fireworks happened, but I was still very much there. And whenever I stopped and I got up, the only place on me that was hurt were my forearms with all the road rash.
Right.
And then I started wearing Tobacco Motorwear California riding jacket.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like they have solutions for all this kind of stuff. And now with the textiles like really becoming a big part of motorcycle safety gear, like you don't have to be a sweatbox all the time.
Right.
Chaps are out, Kevlar's in. Like it's a lot more like.
If you want to wear chaps, wear chaps.
Great,
they do a great job, right?
Yeah,
They
they cut the wind, they do a lot of stuff.
But there are other options.
There are other options, but like I never really liked walking into a bar wearing chaps.
All right, so we do need to hear the story, and in a minute, Google it yourself. Dumptruck Tobacco Motorwear commercial. So I do want to hear the story, the backstory behind that. I mean, we've never really talked about all the years I've known you.
I guess not. No.
Yeah, and so I'd love to hear that story. And like I said, pause right now, go take a look at it, and then come back and hear the story. Yeah.
Well, so like I said before, they called me up. I was one of I think 10 people or so that was a part of a public service announcement about be aware of motorcycles. It was all focused on the fact that, what's his stinking name? Deadpool.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
It's like, because he rides motorcycles, and the whole thing was like, you could hit Ryan Reynolds on a motorcycle.
You killed Ryan Reynolds.
You killed Ryan Reynolds.
Right.
And so it was like a flash between all these characters in motorcycling, like repeating similar lines, and it was just like done really well. And then we were at a pop-up show in Joshua Tree, and they were set up there, and we just got to catch up. Not really friends with them yet, just worked on the production with them. And then we started talking. I was like, hey man, if you want anything, I was like, I'm here, you're here, let's go do stuff. And they're like, actually, we're really busy, but let's talk. And afterwards, he goes, so we have this idea. It's like, okay, and this is where the...
Hear me out.
Yeah. No, hear me out, Dumptruck. At this point, I am very well known for walking around in a Speedo and a smile and not a whole lot else. Because, well, it's hot and I don't care. And so the conversation was, we'd like you to meet us over here in Joshua Tree and bring your best whitey tighties.
The best.
Yeah, the best ones.
Yeah,
those exist.
That your mom wants you to have.
And we'd like you to, we're going to do a transition shot where you're on the motorcycle doing some stuff in underwear. Are you cool with this, by the way? I'm like, bro, I'm already there. Just tell me. Absolutely. Let's go make the neighborhood weird, which is hard to do in Joshua Tree. It's already pretty weird.
Right.
But they were like, bring your best whitey tighties. I was like, listen, what about me says I wear whitey tighties as I stand there in like Captain America Speedo. And it was like, well, what? I was like, oh, it's like, I have tiger stripes on right now. It's like, you know why? He goes, why? Because I like my woman. I was like, now y'all telling me I got to bring my best whitey tighties means that you wear whitey tighties and you're being rude to your woman. You think she wants to see your saggy everything walking around? I was like, do yourself a favor, do them a favor. Find yourself some stuff that makes you walk a little better. It's not just for the women. Y'all wear lingerie, you don't share it, makes you feel pretty. Guess what? We can do that too. So I said, you bring me some whitey tighties because I don't own any of those damn things. And it was funny.
And
like we're
sure
riding
enough,
up around that strip of road and this lady comes through like in her big diesel truck. She comes over, she's like, what are you guys doing? I was like, riding motorcycles in my underwear. What are you doing? And she was like,
Okay.
all right, fair enough.
Well, it's an honest answer.
And that turned into a whole lot of stuff, actually, which I didn't think anything of. And
Probably
it went
one of the
straight
most
viral.
memorable videos I've ever seen.
It's like millions.
Before I
It
had
still gets
ever
hits
met
all the
you.
time.
Before I'd ever met you.
Yeah.
I love, my favorite part is when someone goes, you remind me of that guy that's like in his underwear on a motorcycle. I was like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
That would be me. But it was fun. Those guys are great. They make a great product. And they have fun with promoting their product. And I think that's a big key. Like, one of the reason that most everyone knows about RevZilla is because of the reviews. Like, it's hard to be an educated customer out there. There's a lot of options.
There's a lot.
And there's like assholes, there's a lot of opinions.
There's a lot of opinions.
There's a lot of Facebook groups out there that don't know nothing about nothing, but they'll tell you about it all.
With a grain of salt, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're all learning that now, right? Yeah.
Well, and the thing also is that it's hard because creating a brand is, I just had a brain moment. I forgot what I was going to say.
I bet it was good.
It was good.
Man, I can't
And
believe
one of the things that I love about what you guys do is also like supporting Zach and Ari, right? When they go do their adventures, and it's just fun to watch, right?
Yeah.
And you're providing, part of the things that's important about brands, whether it's Sawicki or BikerDown or RevZilla or Rider Justice, is really just celebrating the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Instead of like, you were very nice to talk about the things I do. I'm not out saying like, I won $100 billion last year,
Exactly.
right? I'm more like, hey, here's all the really cool things we do, and I'm about to be in the state legislature next week and trying to change laws. I'm trying to like celebrate the community, and by you guys doing like those adventures, plus the reviews, plus all that stuff, plus events that you do at your store, events that you guys do all around the country.
Oh, yeah.
On
I think
events
one
that
of the
you guys
best
do.
statements you ever made was when we were down testifying on the texting and driving bill, and you said, there's no other lawyers in here actively, helping us to pass this bill is because it's not financially lucrative to them.
Yeah, it's against their best interest.
You're doing something to hope that you don't get any more motorcycle accident calls or pedestrians getting hurt in a crosswalk and things like that. And to me, and I know to most of the biker community, that stands for something.
Yes,
and that's what I'm saying. We live in a world now where the bikers are on to motorcycle law firms.
Yeah.
It's not new anymore. And you have to find something that defines you and makes you different. And the biggest thing for you is that you truly care about and you back it up with, if you need a ride, yes, I'll help you. Need to show up, I'll help you. And you're just the accident scene management classes that you sponsor, so that in the event of an accident,
God forbid,
people know what to do. That just moves miles for me as to what you stand for as opposed to other people.
Well, like the way that we take that philosophy at Sawicki Speed, or the way that they've allowed me to take it, is if you want to make a difference, you have to show up. And there's ways to do that. Sometimes showing up is picking up the phone and guiding them through a difficult process. Sometimes it's showing up just to educate people, and this is what this helmet really does. This is what these jeans really do. Check out this part.
And we all
that stuff's
complement
adding
each other
because we
because-
need that education. And like for us, it's physically showing up. Like we did 33 events last year.
Right.
We were under new ownership. We had to let people know who we are, not who we were.
Right.
The only way to do that is to shake some hands and to show up everywhere you go.
That's been one of the
And that's how
difficult
we
things
support.
for me with the brand of BikerDown is I'm not your warm and fuzzy charity.
Right, yeah.
And when you guys are all doing these TikTok videos that are funny and light and everything else, it's really difficult for me to create that content because what I do isn't fun,
Right.
And so I really admire that factor that you guys are able to do that because it does make you more memorable. I always feel like my stuff's going out into the universe, and is anybody really reading it? But we all make a difference in one way or the other.
Absolutely.
It's hard.
And it starts with caring. Like, you wouldn't be in the industry that long. Like, everyone who works in the motorcycle industry realizes this is not automotive. The budgets are very different.
Yeah.
So you have to come with passion. And that's one of the reasons why it's important to me and everyone at this table, when we work with people, to have that passion based on real life experience with motorcycles, whether it be raised around it, riding on the back of it all the time, piloting on the front all the time, like any of those things. Like, it is important. If you don't have the passion, I'm glad that you're great at your profession.
Right.
This isn't the room for you. You can change that. Just go get a driver's license with an M endorsement on it and ride a motorcycle. And then you'll get it. Like, it really, you need that.
All right, now I want names. Like, this seems very directed. You know, like, start throwing out names. Let's just hear it all. I have a simple solution to all this, and I'm gonna plug my Cat S22 flip phone right here.
Oh my goodness!
Get rid of your smartphone.
Yes.
You know, number one, unplug, set it off to the side.
Yes.
You know, most of these problems that we're talking about, you know, throughout the conversation is social media in general. And phones and all these sorts of things.
Distractions.
Put it down. Get a phone that does everything so poorly that you won't want to be on it.
What's texting like on that thing?
It's not great. It's
Still
not
do
great.
that.
Yeah.
Right. But it's smart and true, right? We were talking about earlier, it was touched on with the self-driving cars. So I've been trying now for years in the legislation with the help of Susan Dane. I've seen her around here. She's leading the charge to get phones out of people's hands.
Yeah.
And I've had legislators come up to me and say, hey, Scott, I have a Tesla. It drives itself. I want an exemption for automated cars. I'm like, you're out of your effing mind.
Yeah.
Right.
The answer is a hard no, because it's already distracting enough.
Right.
And
Why do we need self-driving?
Like, we're gonna let you be even more distracted, and you're gonna sit in the back seat. That's insane.
Or you've had too many cocktails at the bar, and you're just going to get
Let
your
the car
and
drive
go,
you home?
Hey, Tesla, drive me home. And you know, I mean,
Lane assist. It works.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not great situation to be in, but ultimately it is the individual's responsibility,
Absolutely,
right?
100%.
Like, and I don't like this trend that it's like, well, it's Tesla's fault. Well, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
You're piloting the car. It's your fault. You
that's
should have
exactly
paid attention.
right.
So yeah, you know, these new industries and these new you know, things that they're coming out with. It's good. It's a good thing.
Yes.
There's a lot of good that's going to come from it.
Yes.
But ultimately, it's individual responsibility.
and again, we're not ditching on
That's
Tesla, but
100%
the
right.
first time I got in one, and the iPad screen is like this big.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do you need a screen that
With a
big?
YouTube.
Yeah, right,
So I can watch movies while I
So we go watch him in his Teddy Whitey.
Yeah,
My
right.
daughter
Yeah,
does
I'm comfortable popcorn.
karaoke in hers.
Wait, what?
Karaoke.
in her
They
car?
put on karaoke.
Okay, well that sounds like a good time. How about why is that here today?
Yeah.
What that sounds like is marketable.
Remarkable.
I was coming home from the mountains on 285 from Alma, and we're headed back towards Denver. And I noticed behind me, about a mile or so behind me, there's a cop car chasing a Tesla. And it is just an ongoing slow race, like slow thing. And we start to hit that section when you come up from Bailey and you're headed up the hill. And so we're slowing down and the Tesla's staying at the same speed. The guy was sound asleep. He had no idea the cop was chasing him.
Yeah.
And they're like,
I can't.
It's like Florida man's contagious or something.
And how does the car know to stop?
it
doesn't.
doesn't.
It's
You
a
know, that's what I'm
car.
saying.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
there
a car.
should be something that could just hit a button and it goes,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, we're
Crazy.
watching it unfold, and you know, through my side and rear mirrors, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's asleep.
Wow.
Yeah, and the cop is just, what are you supposed to, like, you gonna knock him off the road? Like, yeah, eventually he'll wake up.
I'm waiting for the moment that once a phone is tracked through GPS going a certain number of miles an hour, the only thing that works on it is GPS.
Yeah.
Right.
God, if you could do that,
They can.
that would.
Yeah.
If they would do that, that would be.
I can enable it.
I've said that
Really
about
helpful.
sport bikes, you know, and I used to say that about snowmobiles. You know, you shouldn't be able to get a bike out of the box and have it be able to go 150 miles an hour. You know, because that's for track time.
Right.
You know, people on the street, and I know people will be mad, please don't send me hate mail, is that if they really don't need to go that fast out of the box. Because people will watch those super bike shows or races, and then they buy one, and now they start doing it without the safety gear and things.
That's a really good point, and something here recently that happened. That guy from Texas, going from what? Colorado
I love
Springs
that jerk.
To Denver, yeah.
in like 20 minutes. And,
Yeah, it's crazy.
you know, it's insane.
Yeah.
Like, listen, we all love being on motorcycles and
Point
going
of reference,
fast.
how long does it take to drive there from here?
Oh, a good hour and 15.
Hour and a half.
Yeah.
Depends on, and
So
he
he did it in 20 minutes.
And that was in main traffic.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it and thinking, well, he's not only just going to kill himself, he's going to kill 2 or 3 people.
Oh, yeah.
At least. Because it was major traffic.
Yeah.
And he is ripping 150 plus miles an
Just
hour.
because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
Take it
There's
to
a
the track.
place for
Take
it.
it to the
Take
track.
it to the track.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was the next point. It's like,
There's a lot of good organizations for that. You know?
yeah, there
Exactly.
are.
Exactly.
Like, with Sawicki Speed, a massive part of our community is the stunt rider community.
Right.
And that is an actual lifestyle. It's not just
Yeah.
like, these
Right.
guys aren't going out there and just, I'm gonna just go be a hooligan today. It's like,
Right.
no, they are. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Right. Yeah.
that's what they are. They're feral.
Yeah.
I
And the
love
only
them
thing I could-
so much.
I
And
was
it's really hard to
thinking
be
of-
like, hey, you guys push it all the time. You're doing awesome. Please be safe out there.
Right.
Like,
Right.
Because like a lot of them are Florida man all day long. Like
Sure.
they're no helmet and stuff like that. But if you look at the ones that are really great at it, the ones that really push at it, and if you're a rider wanting to be like them and letting them lead by example, then look at the helmets they're wearing. Look at
Yeah.
the gloves they're wearing. The people that go the fastest on the track, you make people, this is a fun one, you make fun of people for going 2 up, dudes going 2 up all the time. The fastest people in the world do it at every single race. So why is it too cool for you? Like, you wanna like be a cool biker, then look at the people that do it the best and do it the way that they're doing it. Because I don't know any racers that ride on the street. I know almost 0. There's
Yeah.
3 I know.
Yeah.
And everyone else is like, no, I don't ride motorcycles on the street. It's track only. I know a lot of stunt riders are the
Just
same
as
thing.
cool to get home safely
think- Yes, it
as
is.
it is.
Yeah, you get to do it again.
Maybe get home and not make it.
Right, yeah,
You know? And a lot of these riders have 3 children under 12, and they're riding without insurance, without the safety gear, without health insurance, no life insurance, and they really don't realize the situation that they throw their family in or their parents in. And it's really just, I always say motorcycle awareness begins with me as a rider.
Oh, yeah,
And while I
absolutely.
love the chrome and all the air, all the things that people do to them, the reality is you can make those choices, and you have a responsibility to your loved ones.
Yeah.
Even though you don't like the helmet, wear the helmet so that if you get in an accident, you'll be able to communicate with your daughter.
Yeah,
It's just
right.
really tragic to see the people I talk to, and they're like, oh, well, no, he was gonna get it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he just bought the bike. He was just riding the bike home. Well, you know what? There's no excuse when you're riding.
There is no excuse. We're open 7 days a week at
that's
RevZilla Denver and all
Right,
our
exactly.
retail stores.
Right.
So come on by.
Right.
There's no excuse.
Yeah, all gear all the time.
800
Right.
Insurance
Yeah.
companies, we don't leave a dealership until you've made the call and gotten insurance. So when you're sitting in someone's driveway and you just bought the bike, you don't drive it home until you call that number.
Right.
Yeah.
And it
Well, see,
happens all the time.
Like, to me, like, the reason that I really started to like want to focus on riding gear was because I got in an accident, and you have apprehension. Everyone does after an accident.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's temporary.
Yeah.
Sometimes
It's a little
it's a new normal.
PTSD. Yeah.
Absolutely. There's trauma involved with that, right? I mean, I was fine. Like, it was just, but it scared the shit out of me, apparently.
Yeah.
And so I've started to get, and I still don't wear a helmet all the time. Like, there might be 2 days a year. When I say that, there might be 2 days a year where I'm in Texas somewhere on a country road. Still not a good excuse. Deer are there, but
Yeah.
I've hit one before.
Yep, hogs.
Like, it sucks. Yeah, hogs, they're there.
There's also Texas drivers there.
Yeah, stay out of Houston. It's almost as bad as Charlotte.
With $50 cars and no driver's
It just
license.
simply gives me my
So our
confidence
producer, by
back.
the way, is from Texas, so she's laughing every time.
Nobody's
Every time he
Yeah,
says.
it's fine.
When I was a ski bum 30-something years ago in Beaver Creek, the slogan was "Beat the rush, hate Texas early."
But
Sorry,
the
Texas.
point I was getting to was like, it wasn't just because safety is the right way. I have a responsibility to my family. I have responsibility. It really was because I just wanted the freedom to enjoy motorcycling without that little monkey on my back going, but what if you're not wearing
Yeah.
a helmet? And I was wearing a helmet. It was a 3/4 with a bubble shield.
Yeah.
And thankfully I had the bubble shield because I kissed a concrete divider that night.
Yeah.
And ever since then, this dude wears a full face.
I always say,
I
take
ride
a look
harder.
at-
I feel better.
Yep.
I'm more present. I don't have that. You
Yeah.
got to be able to focus. If you've got
Right.
that little thing back there, that's dangerous.
That's
in
It
itself.
turns out that it's nice not getting hit in the face with random debris. too.
Weird.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But if you
And my
look
Cardo
at a
Bluetooth works
helmet-
really well. I
Yeah.
can listen to everything
Yeah.
I want.
You can actually hear it now?
Yeah.
After an accident, and you see the
Yeah.
scuff marks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just imagine, and that would be a great content video for us to do, is you take a rider, and somehow you show that helmet and then you put the face in it to
Do you
show
have one of those
what
in your
would
shop
have happened.
that has the percentages? Erico across the street used to have one that had the numbers of percentages of where
where
impact
impacts
happens
happen?
on a helmet.
Oh, no.
It's really.
But
I've
it's
seen it before.
always
It's
like
interesting.
here,
Yeah.
which is going to affect your vision.
Oh yeah,
Like
absolutely.
that, and that's why I always say we ought to just take several helmets, or one that cracks. A DOT helmet that cracks means you had a really high impact.
Yeah, sure.
And that could have been your brain.
I mean, a low impact. It doesn't take much. The first
Literally
time I ever
10
slid
miles
out
an
was
hour.
here in Denver. I was at a stoplight. I was going to get my hair cut, and light turns green. I move. There's a woman right in front of me. I can literally see her touching her phone. And actually, she was behind me. I look at my rear view. I see her touching her phone. I'm about to take a left into this driveway, and she's just going straight. So I have to goose it. It's either that or get pinned between a parked car, and it goes underneath. No helmet at that point. My head did hit the concrete too. There was loose gravel, so it was like worst case scenario, but better than getting pinched in a car.
Right.
And it was just like, it was really like a boop. It wasn't. There was almost no speed.
Yeah.
You think it didn't rock my head pretty good?
Yeah, that's right.
Like, do you think my ankle wasn't sore from getting folded up underneath the bike? Like,
I've
I
had
should have been
people
wearing better
that
boots.
die
I should have been
that
wearing
have
a
died on a
helmet.
scooter because
Yeah.
they hit
Oh,
a
yeah.
curb the wrong
I
way.
was in Costa Rica behind some folks that ended up getting in a terrible accident, like right in front of me on
Yeah.
a scooter. You don't have to be going fast to hurt
No.
you.
And I
So
always
getting
say-
back to the fun part of motorcycles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, sorry.
sorry.
Yeah.
How do you think, because RevZilla recently has become a sponsor of the King of Baggers,
Yeah, cool.
and so we're involved in that. How do you think that has changed the perception of, that community, specifically the brothers, and wearing gear? Seeing those guys go fast on baggers is pretty fun, but do you think
Ripping
that's...
it, yeah.
I think a prime example of how positive that influence has been on our community
Yeah.
is and I'm not paid by Harley Davidson in any way, is the 2024 CVO ST Road Glide. That is a prime example, because then you've got Kyle and friends who are the racers, who are the pilots, in their urban gear, wearing the helmets and stuff, and it's not just for show. They'll never go on the street without that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's like, do you want to be like the racer? This is what he's like on the street as well. And it's not really selling it more than it is showcasing it.
Showcasing.
And I think that is
Similar
really
to what
great
they do in
and really
sport
powerful.
bike. You,
Right.
You see that sport biker with the knee cup going like this, and next thing you know, you go to buy that track suit, and you feel like you are emulating them.
Absolutely. You feel like you're starting to do it right.
Right.
You know, following the footsteps of the people that know better than you, not just the hell yeah brother guy that told you something that he actually don't know.
Right.
Like, look at the pros. And it doesn't have to be, the sport bike guy. No, we've got our level of high competition racing.
Yeah.
Like,
But
we
it's-
can look at our own community and what they're doing instead of going, I don't want to look like a sport bike guy. It's like, well, then don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look
You don't
like
have
a
to.
dude on a Bagger Racing League bike.
That's right.
On a King of the Hammers bike. Sorry.
But it's nice
King
that
of the
street
Baggers,
bike
King of the Hammers.
Riders are now getting
Off-road
the
racing.
respect, and they want to ride balls to the walls
Yeah.
too.
No, it's
so
awesome.
now they have an avenue. So I will look forward to seeing some lower level racing companies starting up so that they can feed into those pros.
Yeah. No, I know in
Everybody
Texas,
wants to do it. They're doing a lot in Vegas.
in Vegas as well.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
in Texas there were some track organizations.
Women are doing
that
it.
helped. Women are doing it. That's
Yeah.
a big one. I mean, here at this event,
Royal
we have the
Enfield.
Iron Goddess. Yeah, flat
Got
track.
the Build Train Race, that whole program that they did, amazing program. They take a whole group of women that are inspired, that are excited about it, and they teach them the right way to do it.
Yeah.
And then instantly, you are someone to look up to because you're one of the people doing it right.
Right.
Because you're actually trained right, and it's a really cool group of women that are a part of that program.
And there's nothing better than being for a woman to be really trained properly. I mean, yes, take
Shit,
your
man.
endorsement.
Person.
Take your
Exactly.
endorsement.
Every guy.
Yeah.
But my husband taught me, green doesn't mean go, it means shift down. Look, he really taught me how to ride more defensively.
Right, yeah.
And that's so vital. And when you say that, sometimes people are like, well, what do you mean? I just want to get out of the way. I want to go, Well, you have to ride defense.
Gotta
You have
make
to
sure there's room
anticipate
first.
that car is going to pull out.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's funny. Everybody, I get this question a lot: is if high vis gear is worth it, right? And there's guys that will swear by it, but I just tell them, like, just assume that no one is ever looking at you ever.
That you're invisible.
And you can wear whatever you want, because they're not looking at you anyway.
They're really not.
And yeah, defensive driving, that's a huge one. Pay attention, because everyone's on their phone. They're always
Situational
looking down.
awareness.
Yep.
Assume you're invisible.
Yeah.
50% of all drivers, you go to a stoplight, the 50% of the people on the left have little to no insurance, and the other 50% on the other side are driving distracted.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, to kind of put a bow on something, and back to the fun part of it. 'Cause that's really what we're about. Like,
Let's go back to the fun. Sorry.
Is
why I don't get asked to interview.
what
Debbie
fun?
Downer.
What events do you guys have coming up this year that are going to be fun? And,
That's
and
exactly
the same,
what was on
same
my
next
head
question
next,
for you.
yeah.
Like, what fun events you guys have coming up later too? So why don't we
He
start
said
with you?
fun, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so, we do have the Beers and Gears events at our local store.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's basically we get different people from different organizations or different communities and give them kind of an open, platform to talk about whatever they want to talk about within that motorcycle community. And we just hang out and have beers from 805 and, just make it chill and, promote personal responsibility there, be cool. But yeah, it's just a way for different types of people to meet up and to get involved in the local motorcycle community here in Denver.
That all
Sounds
share
rad.
the same passion for riding.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. What else
And
you guys
that
doing?
understanding is important.
So, like as an organization, we do several events throughout the year, probably similar events to what you're doing. Like I said, I know we just became a sponsor of the King of Baggers, which is super cool.
That's awesome. We'll get to hang out.
awesome.
A few races this year. We have a couple of pipes out there.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
I know they do a lot of like the overlanding stuff. We have our Get On Adventure Fests, which are in California and in South Dakota, Sturgis. We hang out at Buffalo Chip actually, and that's primarily an off-road ride there, and that's tons of fun. So we do a bunch of different stuff throughout the year, and we're always looking to do more stuff. So if like locally here in Denver, if you got something, let us know. Or nationally.
Yeah. The distinguished gentleman maybe coming again to your shop again?
Yeah,
as a
so
stop?
Erica does that every year.
Yeah.
We're excited to have those people.
Gentlemen.
Oh, tell them I think it's really cool. It's a big nonprofit thing, and
It's a big nonprofit thing. I'm not involved in that organization. We just kind of hang out, give them free coffee and donuts. But it's
usually at least a mustache and a
That's
goatee.
what I was thinking, the curly
Distinguished Gentleman's
mustache.
Ride is an effort to help raise funds for men's prostate cancer. That would be the only way that happens. Is prostate cancer awareness and screening and all of that education.
Absolutely.
Because most of the deaths that happen due to prostate cancer are avoidable, and a lot of it's just because men don't need to go to the doctor, which is dumb.
Yeah.
And so this is a way just to kind of elevate it. I was a global ambassador for that program a few years ago, and it's a great responsibility because people are engaged. They want to know more. You want to talk about community. Everyone here helps people when they're down, and that's one of those things. And it's almost impossible to talk about because it's personal. But like to have that whole movement, and it's grown drastically.
It's huge,
They have a four-wheeled version of it as well now. It's just really
people don't realize
really cool
that
bring.
men
And Mark
can
is
get
great.
breast cancer.
Say again?
Men can get breast cancer,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
and men don't think about that either. So.
All right, so what fun events are you doing this year?
Debbie Downer.
I know. That's why I don't get asked. Let's see. I'm going to be in Daytona for 2 days. I'm going to be helping Marilyn from the Buffalo Chip do her Flying Piston event. I am going to do Arizona Bike Week this year. I've got some opportunities there. We are going to probably bring back a Cruise in Colfax here in Denver.
Oh, cool. Good.
Because I've had quite a few people ask me, when are you going to bring that back? And I think that helps us interact more with the community. We work with the International Female Ride Day, and we probably have one of the biggest rides here in Colorado, and we're hoping to get 300 or 400 riders this year. And then obviously May is Motorcycle Awareness Month, so I am all over the map. But May 18th is our Motorcycle Awareness Day. We ask everybody to get mad and let everyone know to watch out for us. And then we also, in the summer, we do Christmas in July toy run, where we all dress
That's
up
cool.
as summer Santas and things like that. So
How about Sawicki?
I had to pull up the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So this is our second show of the year, even though it's January. Our first show was Full Throttle Magazine Custom Bike Show in Greensboro, North Carolina.
yeah,
It's a really, really awesome collection of motorcycles. I think people are going to find out about that a little bit more. It's really surprising every time I go, like how much better, how much it improves. The quality of everything is really rad. This event, love coming here for Rider Justice.
We love having you.
Yay, I'll keep coming back. And then the next thing on our list is Mama Tried Show. Sawicki Speed is a sponsor. I am the MC of it. If you haven't been to Mama Tried Show and you like motorcycles of any kind, of any era, you're doing yourself a disservice. Go to Milwaukee. Yes, it's February. Bring a coat.
Yeah. You can't call yourself a motorcycle rider if you can't ride in a little cold.
I'm just saying. Then we go to Daytona Bike Week. I think I'm going to be there for 5 days. It looks like I'm going to be there for 8 days. But we'll be all over the place. We have like V-Twin Visionaries got a custom show at the Daytona Speedway. Then we got Hardcore Cycles Performance Show. Then we got the Performance Hangover Show at Orlando Harley. And then there's the Dave Perowitz Paint Show the following Wednesday.
Go to your website.
There's all sorts of stuff.
Well, we're going to finish with those questions.
Once you let me finish my list.
Yeah, that's great.
And then we're going to go do the Booty Run, which is with Left Lane Syndicate. You go all the way down the Outer Banks of North Carolina,
I like that.
which is awesome. And so there's a ferry involved with it. This is going to be my favorite part because he's booking the whole ferry, and we're going to put about 80 motorcycles on it, which is something that just doesn't happen. It'll be a really cool vibe. And then we go to Laconia Motorcycle Bike Week. What is it? Motorcycle. It's not a bike week. I can't remember what they call it because it's a big gathering. If you've never been to Laconia, it's the oldest motorcycle event in the country. This will be the 101st year of it. Wow. It's very pure. You go ride during the day, you party at night. We go to Born Free, California. Then, of course, we go to Sturgis.
I've heard great things about Born Free.
Born Free is great. That's where I started wearing Speedos in public. Then we do Sturgis. Then right after that's Four Corners Motorcycle Rally in Durango. We'll be there again together. And then Smoky Mountain Bike Week, which this will be the second year of it. Their first year went off. Downtown Marysville was packed with bikes. And it looked like this had been a heritage event, but the area is primed and ready, and it's hard to find better riding anywhere, like on the planet.
Or off.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then it looks like we are probably going to finish out the year at Born Free, Texas. And maybe I'll get to sit down after that.
So all the Texas people that he upset, now you know where he's
My favorite thing about Texas is that's where we keep all the Texans.
All right, so really quick, we'll finish out. So where can people find you online? Look at that camera, tell them where.
Well, I have a ton of social media, but www.bikerdown.org, and we're on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We have some great videos on YouTube. And I promise you, if you just do a search by BikerDown, we are an easy find. But if you know of somebody that's been injured, please do a help request. We'd be honored for the opportunity to try to help.
Yeah, obviously RevZilla.com, and then for locally, we're at RevZilla Denver. So Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, go watch us be stupid. It's pretty fun.
My personal Instagram is Dumptruck_. My website is ispeakgood.com. So if you're ever looking for a voice for something, you actually have already found it. And now for Sawicki Speed, everything's at SawickiSpeed.com. You can find all of the handmade stainless steel exhaust systems for your Harley or Indian motorcycle. We make something for almost every single model that's out there. We're working on vintage classes for Harley right now. And we're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all that. Sawicki Speed, SAWICKI, speed.com.
I'd just like to say one thing. We've been friends for a long time. I want to thank you for all your years of support.
Right back at
BikerDown wouldn't be where we are had you not given me the tools and the assistance. And I think that's so vitally important for your audience to know that not only do you do a lot of things and show that you care, but you've given me the tools to nationwide for something that will not benefit you most of the time to help injured motorcycle riders, and I am forever grateful.
Well, I'm grateful for all the things you do too, and we appreciate it.
I don't like anybody.
We'll finish with so that's Chasing the Ride.
Yeah, here we go. It's been another amazing episode. This has been represented well, I think, by brands within the motorcycle industry. It's been a joy. Glad you've hung out with us. My name's Dumptruck. This is Scott O'Sullivan. We've got BikerDown and RevZilla. Calling it good. Chasing the Ride podcast. That's a wrap.